Hi, everyone that's coming in. My name's Kate Sharp with Hawks Learning, and today we're going to be having a little training. I'll go through an overview of the software, how you'll complete a lesson, how you'll complete a practice test, and just kind of the ins and outs of the software. So first, I just want to thank you for joining today's session. We're going to cover everything from how to create an account to how to navigate within the platform and complete your assignments. I will be reserving some time at the end to ask questions. So if you do have a question come up, please feel free to put that in the Q&A, and then I will get to that if it's something simple as I'm going, and then if it's something a little bigger, we'll go back and address those questions at the end. But thank you so much for being here. So I will go ahead and share my screen. And what we are looking at is the Hawks student dashboard. So this is where you'll come whenever you go to create or complete an assignment in Hawks. The first thing I do want to highlight is our support. So at Hawks, we really value family style support. And I'm sure you think every company says that, but we really do make it a priority here. And we are available to help you 24/7. So we do have live support right here within this drop-down menu. You can always click this, and we have a 24/7 live chat. Someone is always available. That is an actual person on the other end of the chat, no robots, so you will be helped. And then also, if you just go to hawkslearning.com, we also have our support tab right here. So aside from the live chat, we also list our extended phone support hours during the beginning of the school year, and our regular support hours as well. And then our phone number is just right here. If you ever just lose it, forget it, if you don't want to jot it down right now, you can always just go to hawkslearning.com and it will be here at the bottom of the page. So going back to the student dashboard, the first thing we'll go over is all of the options at the top of the screen. So here's your grades tab. This is where you can see all of your up-to-date grades in Hawks. Depending on your professor and whether or not you're syncing with an LMS, you can also view your grades within your LMS like Canvas or Blackboard or whatever you're using. Your eBooks tab is right here. So whatever course you're registered for, in this case today, I'm going to walk through psychology, but it's the same process for any title. Your ebook that accompanies that will be right here. The discussions tab is something that your professor may or may not use. There's a live chat feature and a discussion board. But what's really important over here is the bell. This will alert you of any items that are due today or in the next couple of days. And then there's also this internal messaging system. So if you have a notification on your envelope, your professor has sent you a message. Again, just kind of up to your professor how much that will or will not be used, but it is there. So here under my courses, you can see everything that you're enrolled in. Today, we're going to go over Intro to Psych, but keep in mind as I walk through this that you'll complete your assignments in the same way, no matter if it's Psych, Math, Econ, English, whatever it may be. So the first thing you'll note is that you see this mini to-do list right off the bat that lets you know what you have due today, what's due this week, and then what's due a little bit later on, just so you keep that on the horizon. So if you click on any of these links, you can access the homework assignment directly from here. But if you click View Course, this will bring up your comprehensive to-do list of everything you have for the semester. So this can include Hawks assignments that may include some videos or external assignments your professor's linked here. And then if you go to the Lessons tab, this is where you can see specifically all of the Hawks homework assignments you've been given and when they're due. So if we were to click into one, this is kind of our three-step process that you'll go through every single time. I don't know about you guys, but one of the main complaints we hear passed along from instructors is that students don't really like online learning systems because there are too many options, too many places to click, too many assignment types. It gets confusing. With Hawks, we try to keep it really simple with just these 3 big buttons: learn, practice, certify every single time. So the learn mode is the first step. And this is where we house the online version of the textbook, but with some interactive examples. So you'll really want to go through learn and practice before you go to certify, which is what you'll actually receive a grade for, because this will help you really be prepared and move through the assignment much quicker. So as you can see, we do have a lot of interactive examples and external links. We are verified Quizlet users at Hawks. So if you click the link to our Quizlet set, it will bring up our preloaded just Quizlet set for whatever lesson you're working on. So you don't have to take the time to go through and make one for yourself. We've already done that for you. Those are free and available. And then as you work through the learn mode, this will match what's in the textbook word for word, but with these videos, links, further resources, like this one is on classical conditioning. So you can link to this website to play a game where you help condition Pavlov's dog. Just things like that. Here's an external video, just a lot of resources to help you really grasp the content. We also have these on your own examples. So you can check your knowledge as you're going through and make sure you're not missing anything important. Sometimes there will also be what we call a learn screen note. This is up to your professor. If you see this, it's something they've added, such as, hey, pay attention because you'll see this on your test. But basically, you'll just go through the learn mode and you do these on your own examples, watch the videos and get comfortable with the content before you move on to the next steps. One more thing to point out within the learn mode is that we do have this watch button right here. And if you click that, it will bring up the lesson level video. So this will be a quick, usually like 3 to 5 minute video that gives you an overview of everything you need to know for this particular lesson. And then we also have hundreds of videos on Hawks TV, which I will show you how to get to as well. And you can watch as many videos as you would like. There are lots available for you. But after you've gone through all the pages in the learn mode and you feel good about the content, you can move on to step 2, which is practice. So once again, learn and practice, you won't actually receive a grade for. You receive a grade for certify, but you do really want to spend time in learn and practice mode because it will prepare you to move through certify much quicker with a much higher grade the first time around, which we'll go into certify in a moment. You do have multiple attempts, but every single question type that you see in practice mode will be in certify, not the exact same question, but the same question type. So that's why it's important to familiarize yourself, with those question types here in the practice mode. So several things to highlight. We do have a skip button. So if you're comfortable with this question type, you don't want to spend your time on it, you can skip, move on to another one. Let's find one that isn't multiple choice just to show you a different example. Okay, here's one that's a click to select question. So in this example, let's actually answer one. It says, which sentence in the following paragraph best illustrates spontaneous recovery? And as you hover over the paragraph, you can see you can click the different sentences and select the one that you think is the right answer. So if I'm click one, click submit answer, I've gotten this message that my answer is incorrect. Now, most online homework systems will just tell you you got it right or you got it wrong, but we really encourage you guys to click explain error when this happens, because we give you really specific feedback on what you did wrong and not just tell you it's wrong, figure out why. So if you click that, you can see here's what you answered, here's what you were asked to do. Your answer is incorrect, but we go on to say it's incorrect because it does not identify the return of a previously extinguished condition response following a rest period. So obviously this answer is very specific to this example and intro to psych, but again, whatever course you're taking, whatever subject it is, we do anticipate common wrong answers and give you this really specific feedback so you know exactly why your answer was wrong. Keep in mind that we have hint, learn, and solution right here for you, but this is also in the tutor mode, which I am about to go through, but it's also built in here to explain error. So after you understand what you did wrong, you can click back to practice. If you want to try again, click try similar, and you'll receive a different question type, or excuse me, different question, but the same question type. So you won't get the same question twice or a specific example twice, but it will test the same knowledge, be the same type of question. So maybe you get to a question type and you don't even know how to attempt it. You're really confused. You need some extra help. Before you submit an answer, you can click tutor. And that brings up hint, learn, and solution, as I just mentioned, was also built into that explain error feature. So the hint will provide you with any sort of relevant definition. So here it tells you what spontaneous recovery is, because it'll be hard to answer the question if you don't know the definition. Really, whatever is key to answering this question will provide you with that here under the helpful hint. Learn, if you click that, it just takes you back to that learn content. This may seem like a small thing, but we find that students really like the fact that if you realize, hey, I need to go back and review what was in the textbook, I didn't read as closely as I should have, you don't have to exit out of practice and pull up an ebook in a separate tab and flip to find the right page. You can just click learn right here and it's built in for you. So just kind of a convenience factor there. And then if you're still confused, you can always click solution and you can see what the answer is. So we tell you the following answer is correct, but we don't just stop there. We tell you it's correct because this is when Olivia responds to the shrimp following your rest period. So again, this is the psych-specific example, but we will always provide an explanation for why that's the correct answer, because we know that that's useless to you if you don't know why. So really encourage you to use these tools in the practice mode, try similar until you're comfortable with the question type, figure out why your answer was wrong if it was wrong, because again, you'll see all of these same question types within Certified, which is for a grade. So that being said, once you work through practice mode, you're comfortable with all those question types, we will jump into Certified. And Certify looks pretty much just like the practice mode. There are really just two main things to note. Number one being that we've removed those learning aids from the bottom of the screen. And I promise you guys that is absolutely for your benefit. It is not to punish you, because think about it. When it comes time for a test or a quiz, you're not going to have that help. You're not going to have those learning aids. And a lot of times it's not even that you're taking advantage of those, but you might not even realize how much you're relying on those until they're removed come test time. And it's, whoops, I don't actually know that as well as I thought. So that's why we give you those in practice mode. And then by the time you get to Certify, you can prove to yourself and to your professor that you can be successful without them. So that's the mentality there. The second thing we do is we make Certify mastery based. So what that means is that your professor will set a mastery level and they can adjust it as they see fit for your class, but usually it's somewhere around 80%. So what that means is that if you get 80% of the questions in this lesson correct, you get a 100 for completing this homework assignment. You have mastered it. So that's pretty neat. You can say, okay, there's 20 questions in this particular lesson with an 80% mastery level. You can look in this red heart, which is kind of like the lives that you have left, and see that you can miss 3 questions, still hit that mastery level and get a 100 for this homework assignment. But say you miss a 4th question or you dip below whatever that mastery level that your professor set is, you don't just get a bad grade. What we do is bring in the adaptive component of Hawks, and the software will take you out of Certify. It'll put you back into practice mode, which we were just in, and there you'll get a custom set of questions based on what you got wrong in Certify. And we only think that that makes sense to make it a customized approach for you because, you are going to struggle with a different topic than your classmate is. And so that allows you to focus your time and energy studying what you specifically need to work on. And then keep in mind, once you're back in the practice mode, you've got the tutor, you've got the explain error, you can try similar until you're comfortable with what you got wrong. And then when you feel good about it, you can come back and try to certify again. By default, we give you unlimited attempts to certify. So, you could certify on the first try, you could certify on the third try, you could certify on the 20th try. It's really however long it takes you. But again, that's why we really recommend to actually spend time and learn and practice before coming into certify, because if you do, there's a lot better odds you'll certify on the first or second try. But that is pretty much the gist of how you'll complete a homework assignment within Hawks. As I said, learn, practice, certify every single time. Try to keep it really simple. So you can just expect this learning path for every assignment. A couple other things I want to show you, and then I'll open it up for questions. Two other things really. This materials tab, this is where your professor can upload maybe like your course syllabus, but then we'll also have the Hawks support page with our phone number, live chat, all of that linked under the materials tab, and then a companion website if that's available for your title. So for instance, with psychology, this companion website will have extra videos, the Quizlet flashcards, and just really anything supplemental that we offer. So a web test, this is the last thing I'll show you. This is where you'll see all of the quizzes and tests that your professor has assigned you. Now, obviously, I don't have any loaded in here, but this is where they would be. But what I do want to walk through with you today is practice web test. So you have the opportunity to come in here and create your own practice test anytime you want. And you can make as many of them as you want to get yourself prepared for a test. It's really simple and it looks just like the actual test will. So say, you have exam 1 coming up and it's going to be on chapters 1 and 2. We're on chapter 1. You'll just add whatever sections it's on. Select from the drop down chapter 2 or whatever it is, add what you need to add. And then maybe your professor said, all right, your test is going to be 20 questions and you're going to have 60 minutes to complete it. You just put those parameters in, click start, and it will actually generate a practice test for you that, as I said, looks exactly like the actual test will. So you can see how much time you have left. You do have the option to hide that if that stresses you out, to see it counting down, and you can unhide it at any time to check. With the drop down, you can skip to different questions. You can see which ones you've answered. You can also do that using next and previous. So I'm just going to click some answers, not even trying to get these right, but just to show you guys the type of feedback you'll get once you submit an answer. Let's skip 1 or 2. And again, with this drop down feature, say you're running out of time and you've been skipping around, you need to see which ones you haven't completed yet. Rather than having to flip back and forth with previous and next, you can click hide the ones you've answered and then just see the ones you have yet to answer. And then once you have gone through and completed your practice test, just click submit assignment. Now, this is obviously warning me that I haven't answered all the questions, so that you can't accidentally submit your test and get a bad grade or a grade less than what you had hoped for because you didn't realize you forgot to answer a question. But for these purposes, I'll click yes, we're going to submit. And once this loads, this is the type of feedback you'll receive. So right off the bat, you can see how many you answered correctly and what your score was. Obviously, I got us a pretty bad grade, but was not trying to get a good grade. But then down here, you can see your overall performance and your by lesson performance breakdown. So this pie chart will show you, obviously green is correct, red is incorrect, and then the rest of the answer key is down here as well. But the really big benefit to this is that you can look and say, okay, look, I did really well on lesson 2.1, human genetics. I got those questions right, but I need a lot of work on lesson 1.2, contemporary psychology. So that way, you know where you need to spend your time studying and you don't waste it on areas that you've already mastered and feel comfortable with. Now, also, you can retake this as many times as you want. You can create as many new ones as you want, but you can also click review and you can see exactly what the questions were that you got, and you can see what you got right versus wrong. So this one we got right. Here's one you got wrong. It will show you what the correct answer was. And not only will it show you the correct answer, but again, we know that's useless if you don't know why that's right. You can open the tutor and it will give you that explain error feedback, the solution, and it tells you correct because. So again, you do get that full explanation if you're confused about why your answer was wrong. So let's see, I think that is everything that I wanted to go through with you today. So I will stop sharing and open it up for questions. But if you have any, please just put them in the Q&A and I'll be glad to address them. I'll give it a few minutes. I'll be here till 11:30, but if you don't have any questions and you feel good, then you are good to hop out whenever. Thank you so much for joining.